He hit you in the face, and not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow.
Wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Did he surprise you with his power?
Bro, he got hit with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places. That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him. He's also nuts. He's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion.
I can't really talk.
Are you in pain?
Yeah.
In awe of the fact that you do what you do.
I mean, it's not that hard to get your ass beat. I won 2 rounds and then I got dropped. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there.
The moment the fight was announced, most people didn't believe it would actually happen. It sounded like another fantasy crossover designed for headlines rather than history. But in Miami, under the brightest lights, fantasy collided with reality. Anthony Joshua, a 2-time unified heavyweight champion, stepped into the ring with Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed problem child, and what followed was not entertainment. It was a harsh lesson in what elite boxing truly looks like.
Acknowledge Jake has had double jaw surgery, 4 plates, 8 screws in his face, and everybody is just kind of breezing past that like it's no big deal. But I'm looking further into this because that's no easy surgery, and I'm starting to ask the question, is this the beginning of the end of Jake Paul's boxing career?
As his brother, I was just shocked. I'm in the hospital with the guy, and he's like, yo, can you make this TikTok? Can you film this for me? He's like laughing and having a good time.
Does not have any agenda against Anthony Joshua, because it feels to me like that fight, I before the fight, I was refusing to accept the principle that this fight could be scripted.
From the opening bell, the difference was obvious. Joshua didn't rush. He didn't chase chaos. He stalked calmly, methodically, like a man who has lived his entire career under pressure. Jake Paul tried to keep distance, throwing cautious jabs, circling the ring, attempting to survive rather than dominate. The early rounds gave some fans false hope, but experienced eyes could already see how this story would end. By the 6th round, the inevitable arrived. Anthony Joshua landed a perfectly timed right hand, clean, heavy, and devastating. The punch didn't just knock Jake Paul down, it shattered the illusion that preparation videos, sparring footage, and social media confidence could substitute for championship-level experience. The impact fractured Paul's jaw in 2 separate places. The fight was immediately stopped, and the arena fell silent as the seriousness of the moment set in.
He surprised my jaw. It's literally snapped. It's like a baseball in there. But yeah, I mean, I told everyone, though, that I would do better than Francis, and that Francis kind of got no chin.
So
Francis low-key soft. I think maybe now he'll take it.
Well, he has something to prove.
Yeah.
Jake Paul was rushed to the hospital, where surgeons worked to repair the damage. 4 titanium plates and 8 screws were required to stabilize his jaw. This was no storyline injury, no exaggeration. This was the physical cost of stepping into the ring with a heavyweight champion. For the first time in his boxing journey, the consequences were permanent and undeniable. In the aftermath, rumors of retirement spread quickly. Jake Paul, visibly shaken during post-fight discussions, admitted that the punishment was wearing on him. He spoke openly about the reality of being hit in the face every day, about the mental strain of preparing for a man like Anthony Joshua, and about the difference between sparring sessions and real championship power delivered through. He claimed he felt competitive early, but the truth was unavoidable. Joshua's power eventually erased any illusion of control. Promoter Eddie Hearn had warned everyone. Long before the fight, he predicted that this matchup would end badly for Jake Paul.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places. That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him. He's also nuts. He's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist, a guy who's gigantic in his pride, built like a Greek god, and he's a 1-punch killer. And you're gonna stand in front of that guy? He clocked Anthony Joshua. He did hit him with a big right hand. His punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it. Bro, he got hit with a bomb and breaks his jaw in 2 places.
And after the final bell, he didn't soften his stance. Hearn explained that a double broken jaw isn't just a physical setback, it's a psychological one. Recovery requires months away from sparring, months without contact, and even longer to regain confidence. For a developing fighter, the fear of re-injury can permanently change how they perform in the ring. Joe Rogan echoed those concerns. His reaction was not mocking or celebratory. It was serious and cautionary. Rogan emphasized that the final punch carried the force of multiple strikes combined, and warned that the long-term risks of absorbing that kind of damage extend far beyond a broken bone. Brain trauma, neurological issues, and lasting health consequences are the silent price fighters pay.
It's just, you can't really justify what he's done, because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match, and I think it brings the integrity of the sport down when somebody like AJ, is a two-time world champion, can't get in there and just completely dismiss somebody like Jake Paul, who I've said for ages can't fight. He's not a professional boxer.
Often long after the cameras are gone, his message was clear. No amount of money makes that risk worth it. As debate erupted online, some fans tried to compare Jake Paul's performance to that of Francis Ngannou, pointing out that Paul lasted longer against Joshua. Analysts quickly shut that argument down. The difference wasn't toughness, it was intent. Ngannou entered his fight believing he could win, engaging aggressively and taking risks. Jake Paul fought in survival mode, avoiding exchanges, clinching, and moving constantly. Lasting longer doesn't mean fighting better, and it certainly doesn't mean being more dangerous. Not everyone appreciated the event at all. Former world champion Carl Froch criticized the matchup harshly, arguing that fights like this drag boxing into what he called a clown world. Froch felt that Joshua's participation hurt the sport's credibility and added nothing to his legacy. He noted that Joshua didn't even appear fully motivated early on, using his jab conservatively rather than aggressively hunting the knockout. To Froch, the fight symbolized everything wrong with influencer boxing crossing into professional territory. The controversy didn't end there.
You gotta give credit to Jake Paul. He fought Anthony Joshua. I swear to God, I thought it was a gimmick in the beginning. I thought that's why he was calling guys out like myself, Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva. And then he lost to Tommy Fury. I was like, well, that's the last time he'll fight a boxer. But dude's got balls.
Long-standing accusations regarding performance-enhancing drugs resurfaced almost immediately. Critics pointed to Jake Paul's rapid physical transformation over recent years, questioning how quickly his strength and size developed. Reports circulated that Paul had allegedly claimed he might consider using steroids openly just to prove the visible difference, a statement many called reckless and irresponsible. While no claims were verified, the discussion added another layer of doubt and controversy to an already brutal outcome. What remains undeniable is this: the fight shattered the fixed fight narrative forever. The damage was real, the blood was real. The titanium plates are real.
He's been out the ring 15 months, a bit slow on his feet, a bit ring rust maybe, and it was it's hard. When I used to spar novice amateurs, even when I was a world champion pro, if you're not motivated, sometimes you can have a couple of bad rounds and you're sort of looking at your opponent and a jab hits you or right hand hits you. And I think AJ was in a bit of a daze early on, just walking him around, touching the jab on his shoulder, not really pulling the trigger on the right hand. Didn't look like he got out of first gear.
No script includes emergency surgery and months of recovery. The gap between an internet personality and a world-class heavyweight champion was exposed in the most violent way possible. Jake Paul entered the ring chasing legitimacy. He left it facing the hardest truth of his career, that elite boxing is unforgiving, ruthless, and indifferent to fame. Whether he chooses to walk away permanently or attempt a comeback years down the line, the Miami fight will forever stand as the moment when ambition met reality, and reality didn't blink.
I think it goes ahead, but I mean, I don't know what Jake Paul is thinking, to be honest, because you're talking about someone that is 2 times heavyweight champion of the world. Is someone that actually have got a one-punch knockout power. He understands range, he understands positioning, he understands how to set you up. He's a bigger man, he's a stronger man. I don't know where, for me, yes, I'm thinking the worst, but I want to be positive, and I really hope that both of them goes home safe with plenty of money. But looking statistically and the professionalism of the sport, I don't see the fight going past 2 rounds.
I do agree with Simon Jordan. It's
bad for the sport because let's play devil's advocate again. What if something bad happens in this fight? Where does that leave boxing? In the gutter. So from that perspective, the fight shouldn't be happening, but it's going to happen. And like I say, let's just hope both guys can go off to their families with their health intact.
The fall of the problem child wasn't a scandal. It wasn't a joke. It was boxing doing what it has always done, separating hype from history. Carl Froch did not hold back in his criticism of the matchup. He called the fight damaging to boxing's reputation, regardless of how dramatic the ending was. Froch noted that Joshua's body language showed very little urgency, suggesting he never felt threatened. Teddy Atlas approached the fight from a technical perspective. He explained that the moment Joshua began cutting off the ring, Jake Paul's limitations became obvious. Atlas pointed out how Paul's footwork turned reactive, his guard widened, and his clinches became acts of desperation rather than strategy. According to Atlas, these are habits that only years of difficult, uncomfortable fights can correct, not controlled training sessions or promotional bouts.
I can juxtapose those. I actually can see some timing. I actually can see some speed. I actually can see some footwork. I can see some power, and I can compare it. Now, Jake is in a wildly difficult spot. Boxing is unlike, by example, track and field. Track and field is all about personal records. You do not need to be faster than the guy standing next to you. Right? Now you can win and you can get trophies on that, but it's not actually your goal that your coach is working on you with. You just today want to be faster, throw further, jump higher than a previous version of yourself.
Stephen A. Smith reacted emotionally but made a sharp point about responsibility. He stated that confidence and ambition are not substitutes for pedigree. According to him, Jake Paul believed momentum and self-belief could carry him through, but boxing does not reward belief. It rewards preparation. Stephen A. emphasized that heavyweight boxing is the most unforgiving division in the sport, where one mistake doesn't just lose rounds, it changes lives. In his view, this was the moment reality finally overpowered marketing. Shannon Briggs addressed the illusion of toughness that surrounds influencer boxing. He said lasting a few rounds against a heavyweight doesn't mean you belong at that level. Briggs emphasized that real heavyweights grow up taking punches from monsters, learning how to survive wars long before the spotlight arrives. In his words, Jake Paul didn't fail because he lacked courage. He failed because courage alone doesn't prepare you for world-class destruction. If you enjoy deep, honest breakdowns of major fights, real reactions from legendary voices, and stories that go beyond hype and headlines, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you well-researched, no-nonsense fight analysis every week. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, because here we cover the moments that truly shape combat sports history.